This path is lonely, and I will not show you a scenic view to attract you, nor I'm going to say something is scary to frighten you away. I will be completely honest. And the honest truth is that this path is really lonely. It's like, have you heard about the dark night of the soul? Now, shadow work is like entering the dark night of the soul by your own wish. The another example can be in tarot. There is a major arcana tower card, yeah, and the tower card is about breaking off the illusions, breaking off the structure which is already there, and shadow work is like manifesting that tower movement for yourself so that all the illusions, all the structure which are not serving you anymore falls down. And in starting, it is a very triggering path. It is a very scary kind of a thing. But when you go ahead in your journey, when you continue doing your shadow work, you will realize that this is the best decision you can make for yourself. So, yeah, that's what it is. Now, when I was thinking that this path is really lonely, I came up with few things that why this path is lonely and why it is best in this way. So I'll be sharing these things with you now. So the first thing is that when you're doing shadow work and suppose you involve somebody else in your work, then they might not take your emotions in a positive way, and you will end up feeling horrible for feeling certain way. The second thing is that you are really vulnerable when you do shadow work, and you maybe get manipulated in your journey. The third thing is that when you do shadow work with another person, it will be tailored by their view. So the shadow work you do might not be true to yourself. Now, saying all these things, let's talk about each one of them in detail. Yeah, with examples. So yeah, let's talk about each one of them. So the another person might not take your emotions in a positive way. Now let's say that you have a work colleague, okay, and you go to them and you tell them that I was doing this shadow work and I came across that I am feeling jealous of you. Now what happened is this jealousy, this word is taken in a very negative way by everybody, and they might either end up thinking that firstly you want to snatch something from them, secondly they are superior to you, and thirdly, let's say they gossip about this thing with other persons, then you will be the talk of the office, and you will end up feeling a horrible person for feeling this way. So what happens is that when you say something like I am feeling certain way and you involve somebody in that, now these emotions, like when we talk about shadow work, mostly we are connecting with the aspect of us which is taken as dark aspects, and people have very distorted view of all these things. So when you tell them that you are feeling this negative emotion, they end up thinking it in a negative way, and end up making horrible situation out of it. So in all these things you will end up thinking that you are a monster, you are a horrible person for feeling that way, because feeling jealousy is wrong, but then it is an emotion and it's completely okay to feel it. Now there is an we are going to talk about jealousy in detail in our one of our video, but for here it's completely normal to feel jealous sometimes. Yeah, and it can show you a way to alchemize it, to know why you are feeling jealous and what can you do, what you desire that you does not have, that you don't have, I'm sorry, I'm again making that mistake. So yeah, you don't you don't have that you're feeling this way. So it can be your guiding light if you see these emotions, but then when you say another tell these things to another person, they can end up making you feel very bad for all these things. Yeah, so that's why it is best to do it alone. Now the next thing is that you can be manipulated. Now, when you have a wound, okay, and you open it for, like, let's say you are just, going through it, your wound, and when you open it, you have to be really careful because it is very vulnerable and it can be vulnerable to bacteria, right? And yeah, I mean, it can become even worse than that. Similarly, when you're doing shadow work, you're opening your wound, and in that phase, you are very vulnerable. And if you find something by mistake, like let's say unfortunately you end up sharing these things with somebody who don't have good intention towards you, they may end up manipulating you. Now let's say that you are doing shadow work for your parents and your parents were not that good with you. You have been beaten, you have been, in they have not been a good example of being parenting, whatever. So you are doing that shadow work, okay? And you end up with somebody and you tell them that, you know what, when I was younger, my parents beaten me, or this happened, whatever happened, right? And that person can manipulate you in thinking even more horrible for your parents. They might, project something, and they might tell you uh, to something which makes you even think that, oh, okay, they are so horrible people. My parents are non forgivable. I can never forgive them for what they did with me. So, you know, even this is just a minor example. The manipulation can be even more. Like the one thing we can think about manipulation is that, it is talked about a lot that when you are going through a breakup and you come across another person and you share this story with them that I'm feeling sad because I have a breakup and all these things, and I'm not I'm not generalizing it, but then that's how it is talked about, right? That the other person might end up manipulating you in believing that they are the right choice for you because they are with you when you have a breakup and they are helping you. So yeah, they are the perfect choice for you. So that is another way of manipulation. So similar in that way, the shadow work works, that you can be manipulated. So it's best if you can do it alone again. So yeah. The last thing is that your shadow work will be tailored by their vision of you. Like when we live with somebody, there are certain perceptions of them, how we are, how we react to certain situations, how we feel, how we react, and all these things. They have certain perception of us. To explain that, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but there is this writer, Don Miguel Ruiz, and in their book, Fifth Agreement and Fourth Agreement, they talk about that we all have, in our life, we all have this, this theater where we're playing our role, and there are different screens. In one screen we are the main character, in another screen the another person is the main character, and then same situation is happening in every screen, right? Now when you are going to see that from your screen where you are the main character, you are going to see that situation from your lens, what you were thinking, how you are approaching that situation. Now when you go to another person's screen, when they where they are the main character, let's say your mother is the main character, right? And you see the same situation from your lens and you did something, then in that screen, why you reacted that way, what were your perception? She have her own perception of your act, and they might be completely different from each other. Yeah, so that same way, every person have their own projections of what you do, how you do, what you think. Even if you does not don't think that way, they have this perception. Everybody has this. Even I have certain perception about certain people in my life, so it's completely normal. But when you are doing shadow work, you want it to be completely true to yourself, right? And when you are if you are doing it with another person, then it will be tailored by their view of you, which might not be true to you. Then how you are going to, alchemize this situation when you does not, you don't even know that what was your truth in that situation. I hope I'm not confusing you. I don't know if I'm making some sense or not, but yeah, in a simpler words, that when you are doing shadow work, it can be tailored by their view of your situation. Like my mother, she knows me for like, I mean, I'm living with her like for so many, like, I'm sorry. I mean, I have been living with her for like 20 years now, maybe 20 or even less than that. But then in all these years, she have made certain perception about me. She has certain thinking that how I react to certain situation. And in these 2 years, like from 2021 to now, I can feel it internally that I am a completely different person, and I don't approach the situation from the same way I would have approached few years back, right? So if I am doing my shadow work now with her, then she will be seeing that person from that year, that person which she knew, and I might not be that person at all, or I might have changed in this all years. So, so I hope I'm making sense that if you do shadow work with another person, that it can be tailored by their view of you. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I hope I made some sense. I'll end it here now, and I will end it with again saying that yes, indeed, shadow work, this path is very lonely, but it is best that this is lonely because it's for our good. And obviously, if you cannot, handle the severity and all, prefer some professional who can help you in that rather than somebody who is close to you. Now, again, it's your, it's your choice what you wish to do, but that's what I think about this thing. Yeah, so yeah, that's all for this episode. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you in the next episode. Till then, keep exploring, keep learning, keep living. Have a wonderful life. Bye.